I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said Trump is coming?
I'm going to come.
Basketball. You are listening to an episode that's not actually quite coexisting. Hey everybody, hi, hey, hello, it's Isaac. You are listening to me talk right now, but this is actually not a Coexist Inc. episode. No, instead, you are listening to an episode of PN Weird. It's a podcast uncovering the deep history of the Pacific Northwest. And for those of you who know me, or have been listening to the show long enough, know that I once lived in the Pacific Northwest. I lived in Portland, Oregon, which I think about fondly. So when I was asked to come on this show to talk about basketball, another thing that was a big part of my life for a while, I couldn't say no. So on today's episode of PN Weird, and for all of my Portland listeners or Oregonians, or frankly, even if you're in the Washington area, that's the Pacific Northwest, please go check out the show. I will put links in the show notes, and you'll enjoy the rest of PN Weird. 2 sports podcasts in under a month. I'm sorry? Maybe you guys like it. But it's good. We talk about the sports gambling crisis rocking the NBA, amongst other fun things that I have to say about sports. So enjoy.
You are now entering the often feared, hated, and obscured realm of the Pacific North Weird. Okay, I'm here with Isaac today of Coexist Inc. to talk about the recent Portland Trail Blazers controversy that has erupted with Chauncey Billups being caught up by the FBI in a major fraud, gambling, and game-fixing investigation. And, I have played sports most of my life, but I've never been the kind of guy who pays attention to, I guess, like the mainstream, all the stats and the players, and keeps up to date on games. So I called in someone who, I knew was a real ball head, Isaac here, to help me navigate this. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm a hooper.
Yeah, Hooper.
I'm a hooper. My name's Isaac. I do the show Coexist Inc. I was in a past life a sports journalist and avid hooper.
Hell yeah.
My trajectory in life has changed from an ACL surgery and being conspiracy pilled, and so that's what I mostly focus on today. But sports are a big part of my life, and I'm still very much a hooper.
The ball is life, it never really fully goes away, I'd say.
No, once you've been bit by the bug, it's hard to really find anything else that replaces it.
Right. And you mentioned to me that you also lived in Portland for a time as well, so
Yeah,
you have a little bit of more familiarity with this than maybe I first imagined.
I am a Reed College alumnus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, where I was on the basketball team there. I was captain of the Reed College basketball team.
The waviest team around.
I don't know what it's like these days, but the great athletes of Reed College was the women's rugby team. They were the most athletic on campus.
Portland is really good for rugby.
I still don't know the rules. I still, for the life of me, even as like a sports guy, I watch rugby and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's fun to watch though. I had a friend who did it up in Portland for a couple years when he lived there, and I caught a couple of his games. But yeah, I couldn't tell
I
you the rules either.
It looks awesome. Running into people is really fun. I'm a little injury prone, so I knew better than
Yeah,
to play
not my
fucking
game.
rugby. Yeah, no thank you. Anything that Australians really like, I tend to avoid. So
Yeah, that's fair. That'll lead you pretty good in life. Um, so tell me more about your time in Portland. When were you living there?
I was in Portland from 2007 to about 2012.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, really when like woke was big, woke was a thing.
Yeah,
And I left before woke really overtook all of Portland. But
interesting.
Portland still has a very special place in my heart. I was for that period of time a big Trailblazers fan. I had a Brandon Roy jersey. I went to a handful of games. It's a great sports town, I gotta say. Portland knows what it's up. Portland knows what's up for sure.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the Blazers, they show out.
What a great team, and it's just so like centrally located. It's like the most European of I think all the American sports, just in the way that the stadium is integrated into the city. So PDXers take for granted just how incredible it is to have the Rose Garden.
Yeah, I
The
saw
Thorns, I have nothing nice to say about the Thorns. Sorry.
the Thorns. Yeah.
Yeah. That's out there by the zoo, right? Isn't that where I've never been to a Thorns game?
I think you're right. I honestly didn't even know we had the Thorns. I've never heard anyone talk about them. It's always the Blazers. That's so funny.
You're going to the wrong lesbian bars, my friend.
Oh man, they just shut down a really famous gay bar. So
Which one?
our Scandals been around for a while, I guess.
Oh, they banned me from that.
Not
I'm
allowed.
just kidding. I don't know. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it.
You've just been kicked out of so many; it's hard to keep up after a while.
Yeah, I was a terror in Portland.
I lived there from 2020 to like 2024, so I'm sure I got a very different experience in the city. But
Yeah, gone are the days of the romantic Elliott Smith heroin addicts, and now you just have ketamine tech bros and fentanyl homelessness. Which
yeah, I
I'll
lived
take
on
I'll
Stark
I'll
and
take the fen
148th.
heads. Oh wow, that's out there.
It was the bad part still for sure. So
that's the Portland everyone should experience, I think.
yeah, it was something, but it was cool at the same time.
I was Southeast 50th and Woodstock. That was my
Okay,
hood.
that's a nice area. Yeah, I think I had
Now
some friends
now
who
it
lived around
is,
there.
but when I there was still some dregs when I was there, and that was my favorite part, like chasing down people who would try to steal from our cars from our house, paying
Yeah.
literally $250 rent. It's just like it's so hard to even conceptualize that today. That was my rent, was $250 in a cool house.
I have been listening to like podcasts with a bunch of like authors and writers and stuff, and it's I don't know if it's just the people that I've heard, but it seems like so many people who wrote at one point lived in Portland. Was it just because the rent was so low for so long?
Good depressing weather to write in as well, I guess.
Yeah, stay inside
Yeah,
weather.
very very Russian.
Yeah, it's hard to not to get a little existential out here. All right, well, we should probably get into
Yeah. Enough chit chat.
the Portland
Enough chit
Trailblazers.
chat.
Maybe I'll real quickly. So as a kid growing up in Oregon, mainly at least, I didn't. My family wasn't big basketball heads, but I did have like NBA Jam 2003 or something for the Game Boy or GameCube. I played the hell out of that as a kid, and it had Damian Lillard. It was probably like one of the first fucking games he was in at the beginning of his career, but he would just sink 3-pointers all day in that shit. So I've always kind of been a Lillard fan, and when I was older, I wasn't really paying attention to basketball, but I remember he started a a rap career and started dropping some albums, and I was fucking
Yeah,
with that for a little bit.
bars. He had bars.
Putting Portland on the map, bro.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I will
Awesome.
say, as someone who plays a lot of street ball, the hoops in Portland were great. It's a great city to play basketball in.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I never had the pleasure, I guess. I never really played pickup games.
That was my world for a long time. I was traveling the world playing pickup basketball. I was doing that in Cuba. I ended up coaching monks in Tibet. The pickup basketball community is pretty tight, and we all kind of know each other. And Portland was one of the hubs. There's just a great pickup culture there.
Wow. No, that's beautiful.
Well, let's talk about like the ugly side of it. Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
the seedy underbelly
Oh,
of basketball.
All the things that they don't want you to talk about. Well, I'm just like looking at it. Where to start? I guess we should start with the really just laying out the cases here. So technically, it's two major cases, but they are connected. And while I've been trying to keep up to date, I think we're recording this exactly a week since it happened.
Yes,
They haven't fully like name dropped Chauncey in both cases, but the evidence is linking him, and like I'll explain more in a sec, I guess. But as it stands right now, this is like a multi-year long case spanning across 11 states, and like 36 plus people have already been arrested. There's been wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, and illegal gambling, and tens of millions of dollars obtained through these fraudulent means. The first indictment, sports gambling versus U.S. versus Earnest, has 6 main defendants who participated in one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the U.S. And that is a very important point that we're going to drill down deeper on. Sports betting and crypto and all that bullshit coming into the game in general.
it's ugly stuff, man. I will say personally, I abhor gambling. I cannot stomach it. I used to play pickup games for money, and it ruined the experience. Once you start putting money in the game, it really sullies the sanctity of sports, which I am a firm believer in.
Yeah. The libidinal economy of the game becomes all fucked up when the money starts changing hands.
No kidding.
So the first indictment, it involves Terry Rozier, who's a Miami Heat guard, and also involves an as so far unnamed co-conspirator in Oregon, but I think we all know who it is at this point, who
Yeah.
provided inside information on a Trailblazers game in 2023. The description of the co-conspirator provided in the indictment mirrors Billups' NBA career. Do you know, before I just kind of read this note for note, like, do you know much about Chauncey Billups, and like, have you followed him over his career a little bit?
Yeah, not early on. I know he started in Boston, which is of course where his rape scandal began. His a very early career, which is I remember when he was hired to be the coach of the Blazers. A lot of my Portland friends who remained there from school vowed to never attend or watch a game again. I don't know how long that lasted, but
well, the 15th head coach in Trailblazers history is former NBA champion Chauncey Billups. And some in Rip City are finding it hard to accept that the 5-time All-Star will be the leader of the Portland franchise after a rape allegation against Billups nearly 25 years ago when he was a rookie with the Boston Celtics.
While criminal charges were never filed, Billups settled the civil case back in 2000. Fox 12's Nick Krupke was at this afternoon's press conference where Billups and general manager Neil Olshey addressed the 1997 accusation.
GM Neil Olshey to the Trailblazers vetted Billups through their own independent investigation.
The results of that corroborated everything that Chauncey had told us multiple times through multiple interviews, that nothing non-consensual happened and nothing would disqualify him from employment. We stand by Chauncey.
So you heard the man from the Trailblazers say that they did their own independent investigation and, they vetted Chauncey and it looked all good. But I think this is worth noting. At the time, team officials said they did everything in our power to vet that incident. However, an investigation by OPB found the team never contacted the attorney for Billups' accuser or the Massachusetts prosecutors. So it sounds more like they less vetted him and more did what they felt was required to cover their own ass, don't you think? Anyways.
After one season on the job as an assistant coach with the Clippers, Mr. Big Shot is getting his first shot at a head coaching gig in the NBA. A 4-year deal with a team option for a 5th.
You know, we didn't hire the most experienced coach, but we think we hired the coach with the highest ceiling for this organization. And we'd like to realize, the benefit of that down the road.
We knew we would have to address this, but this is my dream job. This is one of the best days of my entire life.
Billups concluded his 17-year playing career in 2014, a world champ who was also honored over the years to the NBA's Citizenship Award, Sportsmanship Honor, and voted as the best teammate in the league, just like his friend and now player, Damian Lillard, was this past season.
There is no perfect player. There's no perfect coach. But if y'all both know you're pulling the rope in the same direction, you gotta be honest. Some nights you just don't have it. Or some nights, this is not working or that's not working. And you gotta be able to accept that, accountability if you want to win.
That was, unfortunate for a team in a city that I think prides itself on a sort of a moral compass. But I do recall Chauncey mostly as being like one of the uglier basketball players. Like really is not a great punum, not a great face to look at with Chauncey Billups.
Mm-hmm.
Great name though. I love the name Chauncey. But yeah, he was
pretty unique.
He was a part of that Pistons team that took down the Lakers and won some gritty championships and was deep into the playoffs. And so he was always a basketball figure without a lot of character. He played alongside Rasheed Wallace, who was also part of the Jailblazers, who was such a great character. And I'm so glad that he's not caught up in these sordid legal schemes so far. I mean, I think one of the things that's going to be very interesting to see in the coming weeks and months is just how many people are going to be implicated in this, because it's going to be massive, I think.
Yeah, they're probably going to try and get way more than 36 people.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, we can get into the politics of this, but Billups himself was just a very anodyne character. He even in like this a gritty, rough and tumble Detroit Pistons team where he found his success, he didn't have any notable attributes other than just being like an incredibly solid, consistent player. That's how I remember him, at least.
He's just kind of always been around.
Around and just like a very like a respectable basketball player, like not flashy, but just like clearly he wasn't an emotional character. He was always holding back Rasheed Wallace when Rasheed was getting his record, when he would break his record number of technicals each year.
Okay.
So yeah, to hear that Chauncey Billups is one of these mobbed up characters is like, that's odd. That's a little weird.
I think, I guess I should tell the listeners, I listened to your Can Football Save the World episode. I really enjoyed it. I can't remember
soccer, just for those Americans who are listening, but yes.
Right. The real ones know. I can't remember if it was you or Cloney who said, but a lot of times these kind of like organized crime elements who are looking to fix games will go after players who are kind of like in the middle. They're not like the superstars who, it's not LeBron James who's like throwing the game,
No, there's too much at stake there. But Chauncey, I think, was successful enough to be sort of like upper middle class NBA player. He wasn't like your Jonte Porters, who was the Raptors player who was found doing these prop bets and So again, for him, especially as a coach, as a high level, as a head coach of a basketball team, this is a little surprising. You expect it from the lower tier players who haven't had the success and the financial acumen as someone like Billups, but yeah, it is very curious. This NBA season is rife with scandal. Even before the season started, with the Steve Ballmer $50 million aspiration payment to Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, a lot of stuff is coming to the forefront here, and it is a shame too, because I will say this NBA season, I know we're just a couple weeks in, it has been fantastic so far. The games have been excellent. And so to add this extra level of drama to it almost is like breathing life into an NBA that was, I think, suffering in a way as its talismans are aging out. I mean, LeBron has like only got a couple years left in him, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And so they're desperately searching for their next superstar to make the face of the NBA. And instead, what we are getting is just national coverage, scandals. People are going to pay attention to the NBA in a different way. So, if you subscribe to the axiom of, all press is good press, then, this might be good for the NBA in a bizarre way.
It's like they're uprooting all the corruption, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure that's how they're draining the swamp. We got Kash Patel here leading the charge.
Oh my god, dude, I fucking hate this guy so much. Cash,
he's incredible.
If your listeners haven't seen yet, you must go see the press conference where Kash Patel announces that they are exposing this NBA scandal saga. First, he's wearing like some polyester FBI jacket and the FBI pocket sleeve or whatever it is, the flap. The FBI is so that the letters FBI
outfit.
Yes, they're so big. The FBI letter is so comically large.
It's like a superhero logo on his chest.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what a anti-charismatic fucking loser Kash Patel is.
I'll probably cut some of the audio in from that, but did you notice he has his whole speech that you can tell he fucking practiced in the mirror, and then he gets off and the other guy comes up and he's like, well actually, Kash, we have 2 indictments here, and you can see Kash, he makes a face and he realizes he fucked up and his eyes just get big as hell, even though the the quality on the video is not even that good. You can still tell, and it's just like, oh man.
I'm now going to turn the podium over to FBI Director Kash Patel.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today.
He definitely suffers from some version of Sampaku, the Japanese, when you can see the Japanese analysis of the whites of your eyes. If you can see too much of the whites of the eyes above your irises, that there's something spiritually bereft that there's
Oh, man.
something deeply wrong with you and you are cursed. Kash Patel is so deeply cursed.
When he's doing the eye thing, that's when the devil is just like, Cash, you fucked up.
I want to know what kind of drugs he's on. I want to know what his stack is. What's Kash Patel's stack?
I'm on the lion's mane, the blue methylene, I'm on the ashwagandha, bro.
You got ashwagandha.
Cash, come on the pod, bro. We can ham it up with some real bros. Well, kind of on the topic, what do you think of the timing of all of this happening? I just, the episode I put out like before this was an emergency ICE episode covering all of the protests and everything involved there. And now we have had, even in my town in Eugene, like the FBI assisting ICE in rounding up people because the local cops can't. You have, Portland in the news, and then they decide to go after, the Trailblazers. I don't want to be like too conspiratorial, but it does seem like it's useful timing at the very least.
It's
like,
convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient. Like,
It's
why
very
not?
convenient.
They did it right after the first game of the season, when the billionaire from Texas who's looking to possibly buy the team was like in attendance, and then maybe that deal's all fucked up now or not. Like,
it might give him more leverage now. Actually, now
maybe
they're
it was
cheap.
perfect for
it's
him.
cheap, absolutely. No, the timing, you can't. These people, especially in regards to legal court cases, these are all timed in particular ways, and there's no doubt in my mind that when they saw that, oh, we got the head coach of the Trailblazers, fuck, we hate Portland, let's do it. They're salivating, of course. For me, the timing that was most suspicious was this was the exact same day that Trump pardoned the Zhao, the Binance guy.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, oh, come on. Like, that was, there's no way that wasn't on accident. And so I for me, the outrage is not that the sports games are fixed, because they always have been to one degree or another. I mean, you can go as far back as the Chicago Black Sox with Arnold Rothstein's 1919 fixing of the World Series. Like, it's part of the game, and you just kind of accept it, unfortunately. Although the sports world really in America really distanced itself from gambling after that World Series scandal. But of course, today we're in a world of we're inundated with these sports gambling companies that I saw $14 billion in revenue last year from sports gambling, from like DraftKings, like BT, whatever it is, Sports Bet, whatever.
That's no joke.
No, but it's fucking peanuts compared to the kind of grifting, the kind of the real insider trading that the Trump administration is just rife with. So to me, that's the insulting part. It's just like, yeah, this isn't great. I don't like it, but this is Terry Rozier has dick on the fucking Baron Trump and insider trading going on within the Trump family. So it's like, give me a break.
They definitely aren't doing this out of like a moral imperative. It's pretty obvious.
Oh yeah, I think so.
They're just keeping us safe. Thank you, Cash.
Yes. Thank you for exposing the prop bets that proliferate sports today.
What do you make of I've seen some like fans and some people online who are like Blazer haters, who are feeling pretty vindicated after like calling, years ago that, oh, these guys are fixing games. Do you think that's like a case of them just like kind of getting lucky, or I don't know, was there inklings of this maybe before it happened, or like before it got uncovered?
I mean, according to the court documents, it seems that there was some impropriety, and of course, Billups, what he's really in trouble for right now is being involved with the mafia and that poker game. It almost has nothing to do with basketball itself, other than him using his basketball celebrity to pull in whales for these mafia games that cheated them out of millions of dollars.
Yeah, true. That's where the real money was being made.
That's where the real money is being made. I mean, the Terry Rozier thing, where he pulled himself early out of a game for a very underperforming Miami Heat, it has very little bearing on the outcome of games. And that's the thing I would like for people to kind of differentiate, is that in a bizarre way, these prop bets are actually not affecting the outcomes of games. They're not betting on who's going to win. They're betting on these very bizarre tiny prop bets being like,
it's like way more stupid than that.
It's so fucking stupid. And
if he scores 23 points in the third quarter in the first 10 minutes, then I'll get this. But if not, then it just like keeps fucking going.
Right.
Forever and
it's even smaller than that, because the scandal that rocked the NBA last year was Jonte Porter, who is the younger brother of Michael Porter Jr., who I think he plays for the Washington, not called the Wizards anymore. What are they called? The Command. I can't remember the fucking Washington team name. The Wizards.
The Wizards.
Let's just call them the Wizards. They're playing for Washington.
Yeah.
He
Go
was
Zags.
Yeah, he was the Washington Smithsonians. He was doing these prop bets where he would get like a rebound or a turnover, right? These very tiny, small bets that had he was like a bench player. He had no bearing on the game itself, and honestly, no one gives a fuck about Washington. That's just like, I can't remember the name of the team right now, and I'm a huge NBA fan. That's how unimportant that team is in the outcomes of their games. So they have no bearing on the outcome of the game, which is the most important part. Instead, because of the proliferation of prop betting and the legalization of sports gambling, you just have these like micro bets. And that's what Jonte Porter got busted on. And in a way, that's also what Terry Rozier got busted on. And he only got this bet that allegedly netted him and his buddy $100K. And that also allegedly comes from the fact that Terry Rozier had an $8.2 million lien with the IRS. So he was in dire straits, it seems like. But obviously a gambling addict who had money issues.
Yeah. Well, that's how it usually...
Yeah,
it gets out of control, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to take advantage of these people. And again, this is nothing new. There's nothing new about this, and we've almost accepted it. And what the NBA is in trouble for right now is covering it up. Terry Rozier was already investigated by the NBA itself. You know, cue the CIA investigates itself for crack meme and finds no wrongdoing, right?
Right.
So the NBA has a long history of investigating itself and finding no wrongdoing, or just like sweeping it under the rug. Truly the most famous example of this is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, everyone knows, is he is the fucking Goku, Super Saiyan Goku of gambling addiction. This guy was absolutely insane. The anecdotes about what he would bet on. I hate SNL, but they did have a really good bit where he was like it was like Key and Peele, and they were playing Jordan, and they were making like a security guard bet against him, which was from the Netflix documentary One Last Dance. And he was just like playing quarters against like his security guard and just like fleecing his own security guard. There are stories of Michael Jordan taking advantage of Scottie Pippen, where he would bet on like, you know, when like mascots would like race in the stadium or something like that. He would do in-game bets with his own teammate, who is vital to his entire success, that this mascot was going to win this race. And he knew that ahead of time because he would watch the races ahead of time because they were scripted. And then he would bet against Scottie Pippen. He would bet his teammates, his fucking teammates, whose luggage would go on the plane first. And he would get to the airport ahead of time and pay the Delta employees to put his luggage on first, just so he could win. That's how psychotic Michael Jordan was when it came to betting. Now, Michael Jordan, the dirty secret is that he left the NBA for that year to play minor league baseball for
And
the
Space
owner,
Jam.
and if you remember correctly, in Space Jam.
Yeah, right.
His father likely was murdered by the mob because Jordan refused to pay. He didn't take it. He was such a sore loser. If you want to see how much of a sore loser he is, watch his Hall of Fame acceptance speech, where everyone considers him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and yet he holds nothing but grudges. His Hall of Fame acceptance speech was someone who only wants everyone around him to be a loser. He doesn't even care about winning. It's about everyone else around him losing. So the story goes that the mob killed his father because he didn't take their threats seriously. Even though he could easily afford whatever it is he owed, they fucking killed his dad to be like, no, we're serious, Michael. And so David Stern, then NBA commissioner, was like, you got to go just for a year, just for let things die down, and we'll take care of the rest. So the NBA has a long history of betting scandals. And after Michael Jordan, you had Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy was the referee who spent 15 months in prison for gambling on his own the games he was refereeing, and he was giving insider information, which was just like, oh, who's going to play, but also reffing games in such a way that did change the outcome, which is far worse than these tiny prop bets that someone like Terry Rozier or the insider information that Damon Jones, the other NBA player who's indicted in this, was saying like, oh, so-and-so is not going to play this game. Because it didn't affect the outcome of the game itself. It just affected the bets surrounding it. Tim Donaghy, who I will never fucking forgive, I'm a Florida man. I live in Sarasota, Florida. Tim Donaghy lives here. And I've been trying to hang out with him because I would love to talk to this guy. Mostly because I fucking hate his guts. I will never forgive him. He was the referee during the San Antonio Spurs Phoenix Suns playoff series where he robbed the Phoenix Suns, my team. That was the first team I truly cared about in my life. And he robbed them as a consequence. So that affected the outcome of the game itself. But today, I guess this is like a weird silver lining of these prop bets, is that they don't affect the outcome of the game itself. They're just these little spreads or parlays that they're fucking with, but they don't affect the game itself. Sorry for that rant there. I got a lot of pent up NBA emotion.
You're gonna get close to that Donahue guy just to hurt him the way he hurt you.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna fuck him his ass up. In Florida, we have a lot of interesting laws about stand your ground and when you can shoot someone rightfully. This is parody. I'm joking. Satire.
Yeah, of course.
Satire.
Of course. That was the Florida man character, not Brother Isaac. So
yeah, thank you.
Well, let's get more into. Well, actually, okay. Before we fully move on, Michael Jordan, do you know which mafia outfit perhaps was implicated in that? I've heard that story, but I've actually never really dived deeper than that into it. You know,
I can't recall. There's that one former I'm putting in quotes mob guy who's on podcasts all the time.
I'm a former mod guy and I totally killed someone and I talk about it all the time.
Exactly. So he's on podcasts all the time. He's on Patrick Bet-David's show, and he's talking about the insider info of that stuff. So I'm not sure which. This might be my Italian American discrimination in me, but they're all the same to me. The family names mean a dick to me. I don't know.
Mangiabaloni.
Gabagool. The Gabagool family.
Yeah. Well, I just bring that up because La Cosa Nostra was implicated in this these illegal gambling ring games.
Which, okay, I don't know if you know. Please help me if you know this. Is that a thing still? La Cosa Nostra, isn't that?
I guess they never went away.
Really? It just feels like such like boomer catnip to say that word. I don't even take that
It's
very
crazy because
seriously.
it's like I've been hearing MS-13 and stuff my whole life, and it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, wow, that's it's like we're on a 100-year cycle again. Because we had J. Edgar Hoover. I've been doing some stuff about him. He like just completely avoided looking into the mob for like most of his career, and like had to be basically like forced to do it. And then it was like, wow, organized crime is a thing, and it's like everyone already knew this, bro. But makes you think, right?
I mean, today they just seem like such petty criminals compared to the fucking crypto universe to me. It's just like
Well,
who
I think
fucking
there's
cares?
I think there's a big connection there though, because if you are a mob outfit and you want to like launder money, if you have some dude make you like a bullshit coin and then you all pump and dump it or something, like, you can make a lot more money still through very not quite legal means, right? And potentially make even more from a bunch of idiots if you get them to sign on as well. I think in The Sopranos, isn't there like a whole bit where they are basically doing that with like a penny stock?
Yeah. Fuck. Christopher is in charge of it.
Yeah, and it's they like fuck it up or something, but like that's also a thing that hasn't gone away. And I'm not a mob expert, but what I do know is that in order to stay around, they had to like halfway legitimize themselves. They had to get into like real businesses and invest that dirty money into things that at least gave plausible deniability, right? And I don't know, it doesn't surprise me that they're still involved in sports betting and twisting arms and illegal gambling rings.
Yeah, I mean they're certainly still useful when corporations or the government is like, hey, we need to do something off the books. I mean that seems obvious to me.
Book shout out. I think it was CIA as organized crime that
Hmm.
gets into a lot of that. But okay, the illegal we keep talking about it and then getting sidetracked, which is fine. But I'm gonna actually attack now. So
Okay, let's go.
31 defendants right now in this illegal gambling ring thing. They believe it began around 2019, and they used like fucking high tech James Bond shit to rig these poker games that even from the reporting, I don't fully understand how it worked. Like they had rigged card shuffler machines. They were they were like marking certain cards that you could see on the table through like contact lenses which ones they were and shit.
Hmm.
They had cameras in like parts of the tables themselves and people in your ear like telling you. They had it locked down in so many different ways. And it sounds like they had lots of fucking gadgets, which you don't need to be an intelligence agency to get any of that shit. But damn, if they weren't some kind of like professional about this was not some fly by night like, oh, they're just playing cards in a basement type thing. This is fucking real deal.
Yeah, I also think it's funny that we talked about the status of Chauncey Billups as athletic celebrity. I can't. It's
Hmm.
just like so funny to imagine some rich dentist being like, "I got to play basketball with Chauncey Billups," and his wife is like, "Who?"
Yeah,
like,
right.
like why does that? Why does he
No, you don't
legitimize?
understand. He was like really big back then.
Yeah, yeah. He won an NBA championship. Come on, two.
Now, if they had Lillard on these games, I'd be there. But
That would be different. Oh God, you better believe they're hoping for some big names. They're
God,
just
I hope that.
they're
Yeah.
salivating for anyone, particularly LeBron. I mean, I'm sure you've seen in social media all these conservatives just being like, "Oh, they're gonna get the king. They're gonna get him," just because like LeBron's, I guess, like the most front-facing woke NBA player, sort of. you know,
Really?
yeah. I mean, he has influence, and he has. I mean, it was not Greta Van Susteren. Who's the other blonde Fox idiot lady?
Like Ann Coulter or something? Or
One of they're
is
all
that
the
too old
same.
school? Yeah,
Yeah,
for
but
even
but
worse than the Italians.
but she said, famously, "Shut up and dribble,"
Okay.
and that was to LeBron, especially when he was outspoken with the BLM stuff. And so this is where I think you hinted at this earlier, that this is it's political in nature. I mean, the NBA is the counterbalance to the, NFL and its like B-52 bomber flying over the stadium patriotism.
Yeah.
The NBA is still like the realm of the Democrats because there aren't as many. I mean, the NFL is like I guess people got really excited when there were some white cornerbacks on the Philadelphia Eagles because that's rare these days. But the NBA is still like.
Thank
black.
God we have representation.
Yeah, DEI is what I said it was.
Oh my God.
These DEI cornerbacks.
This corn-fed DEI.
This is because there are too many black quarterbacks now that they have to lash out at the NBA.
It's like, what the fuck do they want, man? Yeah, it's sad. Just how like disgustingly patriotic pretty much every sport in America feels compelled to be is just irritating, especially when you just want to like play or see the game. Like that's my get politics out of the games. Like stop making me pledge allegiance to the flag every fucking time. Like shut the fuck up, get these marching bands out of here.
Yeah, and I think that's where the NBA was the outlier in a certain way. Remember that during like the height of COVID and BLM, the NBA actually initiated a boycott and said they weren't going to play. And do you remember who crushed the NBA boycott?
Well, didn't Obama come in
Yes.
himself?
Yes.
The Obambler?
Fucking Obama. It was the reason why the NBA ended the boycott.
Wow. The best strike breaker of the century, Obama himself. Didn't he do that with another like actual strike not that long ago, like the longshoremen or something?
I have nothing, but
I can't. Yeah.
I remember in 2008, I was living in Portland, right? And I voted for Obama in 2008 because I was young and stupid and hopeful. And I was actually torn between him and Dennis Kucinich. And what won me over in the primary was Obama was visiting, I think it was some fucking military guys, which should have been a fucking signal for me. I know better now, forgive me. But he sunk a 3-pointer first try, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm voting for this guy now. That was cool. That was cool for me.
Wow. I don't know if it was that time Obama came through Oregon or something, but I remember when I was helping these people, trim their weed, they were telling me some of their old boomer stories, and they were talking about how like they used to have this place out by the Eugene airport or whatever, and it's like the fucking president came to town and they're like out there with their crops and it's just a fucking helicopter start like buzzing them, but it was like they were just checking it out, making sure there wasn't a security risk type shit. They didn't come down and bust them, but they were like, whoa, Biden came through Portland when I lived there, and there was like the whole Build Back Better. And the funniest thing about it is they literally like fixed the roads, but they only fixed the roads on his route. It was awesome.
Oh man, love this country. Love it. Love it.
It's fucking cool, man. So you said earlier, you already kind of mentioned this, but they had basically they would look for high rollers that they wanted to milk for cash who were identified as fish, and NBA players would be used as the lure. The players themselves were referred to as face cards, and everyone except the fish was in on it. All the slang just makes it so much more fun. I'm sure these guys were really getting into it.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is always so funny with even the people who are dealing with high profile cases can't help but use bad puns. I mean, they called this Operation Royal Flush. They can't help themselves with like the bad puns.
It's just so funny to imagine Cash in his, superhero FBI jacket, like writing this, like, this is so fire. These guys are gonna love this.
I'm the Joker. I'm the Joker.
I'm playing the real card.
Yeah, God.
I run the underworld, guy. I decide who does what and where they do it at. I make the money, man. I roll the nickels. The game's mine.
But yeah,
So-
I mean, sorry, go on.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say when the scheme began in 2019, Chauncey Billups was still an NBA player.
In
and we already
2019?
kinda- I believe so, but
he
he
was
only
he was not playing in 2019.
Okay, maybe.
I think 2014 is when Billups retired. He's been retired for a minute.
Wikipedia said he was like only set to do like big three versus three games on a like semi-professional or something level.
Retired
But
from
yeah.
the NBA in 2014.
Okay. See, that went over my head, I guess, when I was reading
the
it.
big three is that Ice Cube 3-on-3 league that I gotta say is boring as shit. It's not fun. You know,
I feel like I've never heard anyone talk about it.
There's nothing to say about it. I mean, it's mostly just like washed up NBA players, just like, you know, milking what's left of the teeth.
But you can bet on it.
There you go. You can bet on that fucking Dana White slap fest contest too, I guess. So that's the thing, is like betting has reinvigorated all of these things that would otherwise be totally obscure. And this is the thing, and maybe we can get in, maybe we should talk about this at the end of the episode, but like the consequences of betting on sports as a whole, and the blowback that I think this investigation is going to have on the sports world at large, because this is not contained to the NBA.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, this is college sports we're talking about. And these kids who, you know, to make it in the professional athletic world means you are like 0.001%. I mean, the NBA only gets, I think, 60 players a year with the draft, and less than half of those guys make it in the long run anyway. And you're talking about, you know, tens of thousands of kids playing college sports that a lot of people watch and a lot of people are betting on. So if you are some guy who, you know, has fucking like a next to nothing chance of making the NBA, and you want to cash out from this shit, of course you're gonna get involved in some prop bets. It makes perfect like financial sense to do such a thing. So I wonder how much a lot of these betting companies are sweating, being like, oh shit, are they going to start looking at us now? Are they going to start like examining these bizarre prop bets we make? I don't know. Because when you think about, I think I saw some incredible statistic that 0.5% of bettors on these apps are responsible for 70% of the revenue, which is
Whoa.
That's crazy.
The real
numbers.
addicts.
It's bad. It's fucking bad. And these are guys who are betting on college swim meets. You know, these are people who bet on fucking Riley Gaines to lose to Leah Thomas. You know, it's like that obscure. These people are so obsessed with these games that they don't even fucking care about. You know, they just see the odds and they place the bet. And so I wonder if there's going to be like a significant backlash against the Trump administration for using this to their political benefit, when it's just like, we had a good thing going, man, and you're fucking it up.
Yeah, a lot of their base is these people who
Absolutely.
do this stuff, you know?
Yeah, like
all the chuds at my work at the mill, they're all fucking sports betting all day and shit.
Oh, you better
and, like,
believe it.
Oh, they goddamn love their crypto too, and when Trump, you know, stops the taxes, it's going to be great. I'm sure, bud.
And when you look at the people who are advertising for these companies, MGM, like Bet, fucking whatever, fucking Kevin Hart, Jesus Christ, man, how much more money do you need? But the degree to which these sports is entirely reliant on these betting companies now, and now I feel like they're biting the hand that feeds them, or at least the Trump administration is going to have significant backlash. And I can tell you that the Black American community is going to be fucking pissed off by this. This is going to be an interesting motivational factor electorally as they begin to fuck with their sports and their players. Again, it's like bottom line shit. And I think that they are smashing this button. Obviously, you have Blue Anon, God bless, reminding everybody that Kash Patel is indicting Terry Rozier before releasing the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got everyone. They just got to keep the new events coming of them cracking down on people, so their base is just satisfied that something is happening, which is frustrating to see, because it's like we're just not going to get what we actually need at all.
No, and it's about punishing black people. I don't think it's any coincidence that it's Terry Rozier, whose nickname is Scary Terry. He's tatted up. He's not your Steph Curry, your light-skinned, church attending, button up character, even though Steph Curry has an incredible sordid side. He is a consummate philanderer, allegedly. I don't think he's going to listen to this and sue me, but allegedly Steph Curry is just like a coos hound. So yeah, the fact they picked dark-skinned, tatted up Terry Rozier, I don't think it's a coincidence either.
Trying to get someone who fits the profile of a thug.
Exactly. And there aren't many thugs left in the NBA. The NBA is filled with like rich kids. People forget that, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, their dads were professional basketball players.
Yeah, these are like legacy players.
They're Nepo babies. They're absolutely Nepo babies. And the NBA is filled with Nepo babies now. And this is where I still have like affection for LeBron, because he is like old school, and that, he grew up with a mother who lived on the street and worked on the street. And he's a child star who made it. Everyone should give LeBron a lot more credit for managing the way he has, like his stardom, because he was like one of those kids that made it out of high school from the fucking hood. And there aren't that just is so rare in basketball today.
Damn.
So that's why they want to go for LeBron too, because LeBron represents that, I believe.
Yeah, there's a class layer to it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Big wheels on a phantom, game sitting crooked. 3 birds for a show, nigga gon' book it. Hey. I'm LeBron James, you a fucking rookie. Your bra want a ticket, I'ma gon' book it. I'ma gon' book it. Big dollars in my pocket, got me sitting crooked. 100 racks in my pocket, I can't even walk. 50 hitters with me, nigga, I set it off. Popping bottles, blowing money, I'm just having fun. Me and my nigga friend to death, upper echelon. Yeah, I got buckles on my shoes and they gold, bitch. Open my doors in reverse, that's that rose, bitch. CMG Bentley coupe, that's a cold kid. Send a bird double up, that's some cold shit. All I rock is white, still on my old shit. All my niggas solid, all my hoes thick. DJ drop it, got it, that's that dope boy shit. Smelling like a bag, I'm looking like a brick. Big wheels on a phantom, got it sitting crooked. 3 birds for a show, nigga gon' book it. Hey. I'm LeBron James, you a fucking rookie. Your bra want a ticket, I'ma gon' book it. I'ma gon' book it. Big dollars in my pocket, got me sitting crooked. I'ma gon' book it. Big dollars in my pocket, got me sitting crooked. They say I signed a tip, I said when I do that, me and Tip will conversate about where them choppers at. I be where them goonies and them robbers at. So when you see that phantom, dog, don't follow that. Riding in the rental, get that pack off. Fish scale, yeah, I call it bath salt. Trap doing good, I can't complain. It been a damn good month, I move like 20 things. Then went bought that new Jeep, that SRT. Yo, host up dick on site, ASAP. Just got a yellow AP and that bitch nasty. When I popped out my say this week, I could've bought a Aston. Big wheels on a Phantom, got it sitting crooked. 3 birds for a show, nigga gon' book it. I'm LeBron James, you a fucking rookie. Your bra wanna take it, I'ma gon' book it. I'ma gon' book it. Big wallers in my pocket, got me sitting crooked. I'ma gon' book it. Big wallers in my pocket, got me sitting crooked.
Well, we talked about how crypto people have, well, crypto and gambling people, I should say, two sides of the same sordid coin, have been footing the bill for much of the sports world now. Maybe we should talk about kind of the most in-your-face recent incident of this with, let me make sure I get the name here correct. The Crypto.com arena, as it shall forever be known.
Sam Bankman-Fried, yeah.
Oh my God. Notably, this coincided with Chauncey's time as coach for the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Clippers were at Crypto.com arena for at least a couple years before they moved to where they currently are. I forget, but
They're now that the Intuit arena that Steve Ballmer helped build.
it is like fucking insane. Like when this happened, I didn't even really think about the fact that it's like literally the fucking Lakers stadium is Crypto.com arena.
Well,
now.
it's
Like,
Staples, right? And the because the Clippers split that stadium with the Lakers.
Mhm.
They kind of half sponsored it, but Steve Ballmer's goal was to build out that new stadium by, doing what they always do, just like Barclays, the Brooklyn Nets did in Brooklyn, bulldozing these communities to build the Barclays Center in the heart of Flatbush in Brooklyn. The same thing happened in Englewood, the like historically black community in Los Angeles, to build Steve Ballmer's arena so that the Clippers no longer had to go halvesies with the Lakers.
I see. Damn, I just saw that the Crypto.com arena is expected to host gymnastics during the 2028 Summer Olympics. Fuck. I guess is the Olympics happening in LA?
Unless you guys can stop it, unless you
can
literally stop it. I mean, the this is a tangent here, but the Los Angeles Olympics are so fucking corrupt, and it's going to be a great excuse for Newsom and his Epstein affiliates, like Casey Wasserman, who is the head of the Olympic Committee in Los Angeles, to just
oh my God,
fucking clear out any homeless people. Just like incinerate the homeless population of Los Angeles for the sake of the Olympics. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, not looking forward to it. All my friends and listeners in LA plan ahead. I don't know what to say.
Stop it from happening.
You got until 2028.
I'm not going to say, yehad. But like stop it from happening. The Olympics are just the biggest fucking scam. They're worse than FIFA. The IOC is worse than FIFA, which is an incredible feat to have managed.
We're like just looking at scams on top of scams on top of scams here, and it's almost too much.
Yeah, and that's what's so funny with the Trump administration. Again, like rocking the boat too much here. I mean, it'll be interesting because as people start telling on each other, it's not going to stay contained to the NBA,
Yeah.
and these tentacles are vast, and it touches every single aspect of sports.
I guess the Trailblazers on Sunday played against the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Clippers fans taunting Blazers with FBI chants, which is pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
That's their former coach, which is interesting. Is it Ty Lue who is
Yes,
their coach
Tyler
right
is the
now?
head coach, who was also the coach of the LA Lakers, who won the championship with LeBron in the bubble. Billups was only ever an assistant coach. He was never a head coach. This is his first head coach jobbing, or was his first head coach jobbing, and will likely be his last.
Yeah,
as a
probably.
Trailblazer. 1000%. It's not gonna work out anymore.
He's not coming back, bro.
No, he is not.
So I saw that, I've been trying to keep up to date, and there wasn't a lot for a few days, but within the last couple, there's been a few articles about, Ty Lue and Billups, their deep friendship and it going back. And Ty Lue came out and said, like, Chauncey Billups is a good guy. I don't think he was doing anything crazy, blah, blah, blah. But also, apparently, he might be implicated in the files as well. So
Very possibly.
you have to wonder, like, how many of these coaches and stuff who are like jumping to defend Chauncey Billups, like, are in a couple months going to be the guys who are going to be pointing the fingers at each other,
Yeah, and I think that when they're faced with, up to 20 years for this, that ratting out on your friends and teammates is a serious possibility. But you have to wonder too, like, this is what I find. Again, there are consequences to these kinds of investigations and not keeping them limited like the NBA has always done. When the NBA and the Tim Donaghy scandal came to light, the NBA with David Stern was clever enough to keep it limited to just Donaghy. They didn't expose the larger system at play so that things could go on as normal. The same thing with Michael Jordan. And so if Adam Silver, who, by the way, I met Adam Silver.
Really?
Yeah, in 2014, I was at a party for the FIBA World Championship game in Spain. And I met Adam Silver and I introduced myself, and he knew who I was, which was fucking crazy. I had written this article. I used to write for the New York Times, and I'd written this article about basketball. And he's like, "Oh, that's you. I loved that story." And I was immediately charmed. That's how easily I was swayed by this guy.
He got you.
He fucking got me. But so I've like defended him, being like, no, he's a nice guy. He's actually kind of nice because he knew who I was. How simple it is. It can be.
He like says that to every journalist type shit.
No,
but I love your story.
He was literally quoting my story to me.
I believe you.
Which is like crazy. I was like, oh yeah, like, wow, you read my story. That's wild.
Yeah, that's got to be surreal.
It was very strange, and he was a very personable guy. Although he is also responsible for gambling. He wrote an editorial, I believe, in the New York Times that it was time to legalize gambling for sports. So he advocated for this. Yeah, he knew which side the bread was buttered on. But so it'll be actually tomorrow. This is the 30th of October. We're recording right now. Tomorrow, he owes Congress some sort of explanation. He doesn't have to testify, but he has to, I think, send in some sort of documentation or something like that. So this is going to be ongoing, and it's a very interesting sub narrative to the typical NBA narrative as the season has just begun. And so I'm curious what the consequences will be, but they're going to try to keep it as contained as possible for sure. But because the NBA is like the woke league, I think the Trump administration will happily rip that off, but there will be tremors. There will be unforeseen consequences to lifting this veil.
It's crazy that he's literally fucking with the bread and the circuses while he's molesting the money, and people are just still so far pretty much taking it. But
Yeah.
it's like even the Trump administration, there was some news stories the other day that they are like making preparations for mass unrest in the future, which is like if they're doing that, they don't fucking do that for no reason. So all of this shit is gonna
No, it's
go somewhere.
it's a sugar high. And this is what we experienced in the state of Florida with Ron DeSantis and his electoral success in his most recent election. I mean, he won everything, and all these Republicans, all these conservatives, thought that gave them carte blanche to do whatever they wanted, and that they would just be able to do whatever they want forever. But they're hitting brick walls. They are suffering, and the sugar high is crashing down. And if you follow Ron DeSantis's career, you'll see that he is persona non grata. He is almost no longer relevant in Florida politics, except as like a lame duck who's just giving the like whatever's left of the infrastructure, the state apparatus of Florida to private interests. But you're going to see the same thing with Trump. I think he's going to exhaust his base and his ability, and they're going to be like, oh, why don't you guys like us anymore? Like they keep taking away the burgers from us. The NBA is a nice burger. You want to you really want to ruin that for millions of people? What are they going to do with their spare time as a consequence?
They're going to be real mad at the person that took it away. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we can see, some kind of continued organization to come out of it, like a bunch of disaffected people unplug. With the BLM stuff in 2020, I think a big part of what got so many people out was like COVID happening. There was no shows to go to. There like wasn't really much else going on. So it's like, yeah, we're pissed off. Let's just fucking go down there and protest, That was like the thing to do. If you take away a lot of people's other options, they start to get talking and stuff,
But the other consequence I wonder, and again, this is why I feel like it's a complete miscalculation on the Trump administration's part, but like gambling is so important to the American economy today. And it is so integral to the success of just the entire sports apparatus that they're going to fuck this up for everyone. Like they should have left it alone. They had a good thing going, but go on.
I do wonder if almost this like will be their like no joke, their drain the swamp thing, where they kind of make a big show out of this initial thing, and then it gets swept under the rug once once people just move on in the news cycle. Oh, we can say we looked into corruption, and we can look back on it and feel proud of ourselves, but like we don't actually want to like fuck it up too bad. It's like when they said they're gonna go after human trafficking, and then the problem only gets worse or whatever.
I do wonder to what degree these sports betting companies are sweating right now, being like, oh fuck, now you guys are gonna look at us. Now you're gonna look. We had a good
they've been pretty fucking quiet
thing going. And that's the other thing that I think that this kind of reveals is just the proliferation of sports betting and how you can't begrudge these NBA players for taking a part in it as well. And so punishing someone like Terry Rozier or even Chauncey Billups, and this is the one thing I've learned hanging out with professional athletes. I actually met, when I was living in Cuba, I met this former NFL player who was like studying medicine at the University of Havana.
That's
and
awesome.
He had a very short-lived NFL career, which most of them do, which also makes you wonder, to what degree are like these, like, these 55 squad NFL guys who, their average, the average NFL career is 2.5 years. You don't think they're going to try to get what they can out of it?
Yeah. If they're already just getting chewed up and spit out.
And I mean, their fucking brains are gone anyway. But I met this guy. His name is Pasha Jackson. He played briefly for the Oakland Raiders, but had the most success. I think it was USC. He won a Rose Bowl. I think 2 Rose Bowls with USC. And the one thing I was talking to him about, like, playing at that level. And now I've never played at even something close to that. I've played in some lower leagues. I've played in tournaments, and even those, the feeling you get from playing sports at that level is nothing compares to it. No drug even compares to playing high level sports. And so I was talking to this guy Pasha, and he was telling me that, like, before games when he was playing for USC, he and his teammates would, like, be like grabbing each other's helmets and, like, looking at each other in the eyes and just bawling, just crying, just from the emotional intensity of what they were about to do, like real gladiator shit.
Yeah, it's like they're going into war.
Yeah, 1000% is. And it's the same thing. If you talk to soldiers and they come back, a lot of them are just like, yeah, everything is boring compared to war. Everything is boring compared to high level sports. And when you turn 30 years old as a professional athlete, you're considered old. Can you fucking imagine someone telling you you're old at 30?
That's like, I'm going to turn that in like a year, and it's like, oh, my life is over.
But literally these guys' lives are over.
Yeah,
and
especially if it's like NFL and they get brain damage and shit.
Absolutely. And so how do they scratch that itch that they live their entire adult lives with? I think the closest thing is gambling. And so I think it's very easy to take advantage of these people who are like structured, their minds, their brains are structured in such a way that they need this kind of intensity. And the only thing besides drugs that could possibly scratch the itch, it's not going to be opening a fucking car wash, a Tommy's car wash in your neighborhood. That doesn't fucking scratch that itch. Hell no. No, it's gambling. It's going to be high level shit. So you have like this disaffected class of professional athletes who need like something. And I think the only thing that comes even close to that is gambling. And so it's just like it's easy pickings, fish in a barrel for them to take advantage of these people. So, I mean, I don't mean to like play the victim card here, but I think that these athletes are, even though they're millionaires, they're victims in a way.
They do get exploited to a degree, I mean, they are workers in a sense, I guess. I don't want to start like a left Twitter fucking debate on theory or whatever about that bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a landmine. But like sports teams have owners who own these things to profit off of them, right? Like all of this shit exists under and within capitalism, which is kind of the part of the fucking problem, right? Like, I'm not saying Russia had perfect sports culture or anything, but you at least, I would imagine, you didn't have, fucking sports betting everywhere you look. It must be fucking nice.
Yeah, and at least maybe I can't speak to the Russian culture itself, but maybe there was a level of respect that was given. It's not like these people were playing basketball; like they weren't like celebrities in that regard. It was largely like Olympic sports, is what the Soviets were proficient at, and
Yeah.
it gave them some kind of status, and they just like got reintegrated into that sports world as coaches. But they weren't like, they didn't get to, they weren't millionaires.
At least if you're destroying your body, you're doing it for communism, not like some fucker who, you're never going to meet. But what was the sports culture in Cuba like?
Massive. I mean, it was very similar. The Cubans take great pride in their sporting ability. They're relatively successful.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some Cuban athletes who are fucking monsters in the best way possible.
Boxing, and I think boxing was what they were best at. But even like the Cuban ballet was prestigious.
Interesting.
So they and obviously have like lots of baseball players coming out of Cuba as well. But I'm no authority on the sports culture in Cuba, other than they all play it. And I guess the nice thing is that they all have free healthcare if anything goes wrong. So
Don't have to worry about breaking your arm or something.
No,
Yeah.
man, you get great great doctors there. When I went to Cuba, it was to accompany this friend of mine who's a construction worker who like Hail Married. This is before the ACA even uh, to get back surgery in Cuba, and he did. He got successful back surgery, which is so fucking risky, with like ancient Soviet hardware. Even it was incredible. It was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That boggles the mind with the medical blockade and everything else. Like,
Oh,
it's still the place to go.
I know a lot of there are a lot of tankies out there, and they love Stalin. Dude, I'm a Fidelista. You know, I love Fidel. I love Che. Cuba is like that's the example, in my opinion.
I respect it.
Don't ask Cubans here in Florida, though.
Oh no,
they fucking suck. They're the worst.
Oh man, yeah, I can imagine.
And they're bad at sports here. Like once they leave the island, they're terrible. They're not good anymore.
Damn, individualism. They don't know how to play on a team anymore.
Exactly.
Not team players.
This small town on the outskirts of Cuba's capital has for decades been quietly producing some of the world's best Olympic boxers. Since 1972, fueled by Cuba's former leader Fidel Castro's passion and investment in sport, Cuban fighters have racked up 41 Olympic gold medals, 19 silver, and 18 bronze. It's an impressive list, matched only by the United States, and a surprising one. For decades, Cubans have grappled with shortages of food, medicine, and fuel.
Do you want to talk maybe real quickly about like the history of the term Portland Jailblazers? Because it was my understanding that that's like been around longer than just last week, right?
If I remember correctly, the Portland Jailblazers was the 2000s. They were Rasheed Wallace and Damon Stoudemire, Mighty Mouse, famously.
Stoudemire.
And they would get in legal trouble as like not gambling, but like brawling. It seemed like,
okay.
And I think so. That's what the Jailblazers comes from, because they would get in trouble with the law. But they were like such a ragtag team. Scottie Pippen was on that team as well, actually.
Yeah.
And they brought the Lakers to the brink, and the Lakers 1000% cheated. They 1000% jobbed.
Curse you, California.
They really did. They jobbed the Trailblazers out of a potential championship. They were the West Coast Finals.
Wow.
And I think that the one video clip that always sticks out from that Jailblazers era was Rasheed Wallace saying, cash that check, CTC. And that was his sort of attitude when people were being like, don't you think you owe the city more? He's like, nah, man, like, I'm just here to fucking cash that check. I love Rasheed
Money,
Wallace.
baby.
Love Rasheed Wallace. I guess if I was going to end on one note, it would be this. And it's kind of a continuation of some of the things I was saying with Kalani on our episode about how football can save the world, is that I think that obviously sports is life in miniature. All the best metaphors, you can explain life through sports itself. It provides you these metaphors that help you understand the world, at least for me. And the game is rigged. The games have always been rigged. They are not pure. Once in a while, when you're playing with your friends, you'll play a pure game, and it's beautiful. It's holy shit, you know?
Yeah.
But when money gets involved, obviously it gets corrupted. But it doesn't mean that the whole thing is corrupted. And it doesn't mean that these people who are exploiting these cracks in the game have complete control and are determining the outcome of things. Because that is not how sports work. And that's the beauty of sports. And I think that's where we can really take solace in this thing. You know, a lot of people believe that the 2016 NBA Finals was rigged in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was the Cavs versus the Golden State Warriors. And they came back historically from a 3-1 deficit to win in Game 7. And there was some shenanigans with suspending Draymond Green for hitting LeBron James in the nuts and winning. I think it was Game 5 or 6. But here's the thing, and this is where like it allows for moments of beauty and agency. And I would point to LeBron James's block of Andre Iguodala that won them Game 7. You can't rig that. And the Warriors absolutely could have won that game had LeBron James not done his superhero shit and done that come from behind block. It really is. It's like I can watch that clip of LeBron James blocking Andre Iguodala again and again and again and again. It's just like that exceptional. And that's one of those things where it's just like, no, like we can still beat the cheaters, or we can still overcome things. There's still agency in this. There's still some wiggle room for us to overcome this rigged game, because I think we all acknowledge that everything about society is rigged in one form or another. But it doesn't mean that the whole game, like, it doesn't mean the outcome is entirely rigged. It means that it's pushed in the favor of an outcome. And that just means you have to work even harder to thwart that outcome. So yes, I think that this whole scandal exposes like the seedy underbelly, whatever. But it shouldn't discourage us to believe that the whole world is fake and that like there are these omnipotent forces in control of everything. Because I find that that's where leftists really become nihilists, when they think that no, it's just everything's CIA, everybody's a Fed. You know, it's like maybe a little bit, but not all the way. And there's still hope. There's still a way to beat it. You just got to elevate your game.
And I think that's the perfect thing to end on. I couldn't say anything better than that.
Well, thank you for letting me sermonize.
Oh yeah, no, we love monologues over here. Usually it's me, reading something and basically talking to myself. So it's always nice to have a guest.
It's so much better to
hear
talk to someone else. It's always better. My solo shows are just like I can't even perform this well by myself. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, of course, man. And thank you as well. Do you want to kind of like plug your stuff real quick?
I'll just, I don't usually talk about sports on my show, but but my show Coexist Inc. is in the same vein as everything I've said on your show today.
Yeah. Are you going to cross post this?
I would love to. What platform do you post on?
Patreon and Spotify mainly.
Yeah, I'm banned from Spotify on my main one. Yeah.
Good. You're doing something right.
Well, accidentally, I do the moral thing, by getting banned. But yeah, I would love to cross post this. So I've never done a cross post before. I know Kalani cross posted ours, but so I'll just have to figure that out. But yeah, I'd love to show my audience your stuff as well. And I have a lot of Portland listeners. So I think that if they don't already listen, then yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. Okay. Well, this is also P and Weird, and you can find me everywhere on that. All right. I got to go to the bathroom now, so I got to say goodbye for real.
All right, brother. See you later. Thank you so much for having me on. And I'll send you my audio in case it's superior to the audio you have right now.
Okay. I'll keep in touch with the editing and everything. I'll probably have it wrapped up by, I don't know, next Friday or something.
All right. Let me know.
All right. Peace out.
See you, brother.
Dollar. He say he the GOAT, I come for his body. Platinum cause he bought the copies. Should've just passed me the torch, I got no remorse, I beat him like Rocky. I fill the tank up with diesel, you jealous of me and I see you. Cause on this day, originals just can't fuck with this sequel. I'm new school, got new hits. Space Jam, not blue chips. Hangman, yo shoe shit. Dame 6, I'm too lit. Big name, got big bread, but you corny. Gift bags get purchased. Every time you get horny, then they repo. Love you when you was in beast mode. Loki thought you was a cheat code. Know that you shoot for the cheap hoes. Shoot any work like your freak throws. Know you see my pockets deep, so you flexing ain't really a thing, bro. We both could be working at Kinko's. And Kobe, when you them rings don't owe. Nursery rhyme spitting, small cars sitting, oh. Icy hot poster boy, TNT snitching you. Big man hating, mad at my existence. Had a song with Bad Boy. I'm Jordan to the Pistons, still getting to the chicken. This ain't nothing new to me. I always been the chosen one. Nothing you could do with me. This what rich look like before the dough and jewelry. I'm from where Tom Hanks from, but no time foolery. Do it for the fam. Ain't no magic, no Kazam. Ain't no flexing for the gram. I'm for real. I promise you don't really want to meddle with me still. All your personalities, real characters could get revealed. We coulda did a track together, just pass the torch. Was lit without you, brother, I was busting off the porch. Call 911, dusting off the Porsche. Look inside that statue at Staples and find a corpse. Confused at why you barked up the tree, cause I'ma do ya. Versace on my body, you finally gon' meet Medusa. Don't know if I address you as Shaq or Shaq Fu. Your old head can't see me, he blinded, Slick Rick the ruler. Pride all in the way and you know it, you big cocky. Heard my rhymes and quickly turned into a disc jockey. Nigga wanna play with the monster, you big poppy. Was mad at Steph, unanimous trophy, you sick probably. It be wise to move on, Aristotle, cause this a gimme. All the money in the world, but traded you for penny. Recorded with the legends of your time, I get with plenty. Never run from smoke, I'm the type to climb up the chimney. Was really feeling threatened, at least enough to diss me. Shoulda knew this was a shootout, I could never let you zip me. Said that Max was little, that 250 million crispy. Can't recall you getting that when I was cruising on a 10 speed. This a different era, you the past and you the past. Said yourself that I'm a Tesla, no longer need diesel gas. Kinda like the Cavs, ain't really need diesel ass. And even in Miami, won that on the strength of Flash. You had a moment, OG, you the pioneer. But I didn't reach the top at this point and the climate's clear. All my bars is colder than any climate that's near. So if you looking for the stop to the rain, you can find it here. Feel